Hey everyone, Kate and Fiona Pearman joining you for this week's Facebook Live as we continue to talk about self-doubt, imposter syndrome, inner critic. And I think one of the things that is most challenging about this conversation is on the surface, the self-doubt feels real, feels like there's really good reasons, it feels true. And so in those very short time frames, when we get that data, we get that self-talk, our body responds to that. It's like, what am I going to do? How do I keep myself safe? So I think the important starting piece here is to notice that it feels real for all of us. Our bodies respond to keep us safe. And the opportunity that is present to really start to shine a light on what's really going on, to recognize that most of the responses we're having are coming from a place of fear, and then to have the courage to dig beneath that.
And I think this is the opportunity here, is to recognize and understand that this is a layered situation, that what's appearing on the surface, what's happening there, while it feels real, as we start to dig in, we can start to see some of the things that are going on. And one of the things that we've observed, we see this all the time with our clients, is the recognition that actually that's an old story, or that's an old belief, or it's assumption, or it's something that happened quite a long time ago. Something happened, and yes, in that moment, maybe it was true that that was risky or dangerous, but actually now I've grown and matured, and I've got a whole lot more in my toolkit in terms of how I can deal with things. So the recognition that, yes, my body's reacting to something, but it's not necessarily exactly true of right now. That's the opportunity I think we've got as we start to unpack those layers that sit beneath the surface.
Yeah, and of course, the more we ruminate on self-doubt and inner critic, the more that it gets activated, the more it's amplified, the more our nervous system will respond to that, the even more true and real that those stories will feel. And so again, recognizing what's going on for you, recognizing that there may be some truth, but equally that there are other possibilities. And I think when we think about how do you go about doing this, just even that recognition, hey, I've got self-doubt, my inner critic is loud here. It may be true, but it may not be true. And really, what is going on? What is the fear that's going on beneath the surface? What am I worried about? And then being able to challenge that story, because in our experience, Fee, very rarely do the stories reflect that current reality.
Yes, and I think there's a piece here where if we can just calm ourselves enough to be curious, to ask that good question, is this the reality now? Is this what's going on for me? And as we get into that state, as we start to investigate, we can see that potentially, actually here, I could maybe do something, even though it feels a bit uncomfortable. And I think the other piece here is to be willing to reset our benchmark. Often we're waiting to feel completely no fear at all, like as though nothing's at risk, as though it's completely safe. And our encouragement is, do it anyway, even if it feels a little bit scary, a little bit risky. That's why our program Acts of Confidence is centered around small acts of confidence. We've just been this morning digging into, get clear and make decisions. It feels uncomfortable at first to get clear. There is a whole lot of fears about what might go wrong. And as we're willing to reset that benchmark and take uncomfortable action, because I'm going to call imperfect action, a lot changes for us and we learn new things about ourselves.
Yeah, when we think about resetting that benchmark, instead of waiting to feel 100 and 150% confident or certain to take action, we talk about bringing it down to a 7 or 8 out of 10. And yes, while we don't have 100% certainty, that ability to take action, imperfect action at that 7 or 8 out of 10 allows us to move forward. And by taking action, we get more information. By getting more information, we increase our level of certainty around what will happen next. Either way, you are better or you're in a better position than you were before you took that action. And we call that either small experiments or small acts of confidence. And that is how you start to staircase your way to core confidence. Team, thank you for being online and tuning into our conversation today. Imposter syndrome, self-doubt, inner critic, it's a big one, we know. We talk with hundreds of you every week about this. And it's certainly one that once you reframe, your relationship with that inner critic, with that self-doubt, and you start to recognize and resource yourself to navigate through, everything changes. If you'd like to find out more about our work, head over to our Facebook page, like us, and you'll be notified every time we go live. Of course, there's hundreds of videos you can check out there as well. And if you'd like to find out more about how you can work with us on your relationship with core confidence, visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.